Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, a professor, scholar, activist, and here with Reverend Dr. Freddie Haynes from Dallas, Texas. We're here because we care. We're here because we're members of the Occupy movement. We're here because we're part of the 99. Because we're fighting for economic justice here and around the world. You stand in the best tradition of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, man.
His last act on earth was to organize a poor people's campaign to focus on the poor, the malnourished, the unemployed. He felt there should be a floor beneath which no American would fall. So he organized a multiracial, multicultural coalition to fight for jobs and justice and peace. He was on his way to Washington to occupy the mall. When he was killed, we came to Washington anyhow, and we called the occupation Resurrection City. And for several weeks, we stayed on the mall until we were chased out with tear gas by the police. We challenged America to choose the war on poverty at home rather than the war in Vietnam. Choose peace at home rather than war abroad. Here we are all these years, we're still fighting for economic justice. Too few got too much concentrated wealth, too many unnecessary expensive wars, and too much poverty. So we're fighting together to end economic violence. End violence by the banks. We're jacking up rates. We're using subprime lending, predatory schemes, driving people into foreclosure, and driving down tax bases, eliminating our schools. Here because insurance companies are raising fees, increasing monopolies, and the uninsured people numbers are still rising. Here because the big five oil companies got $1 trillion in profits and still getting tax subsidy. Here because the Bush tax cut extension amounts to more money than all the state budget deficits combined. So you who are here in the great tradition of fighting for justice, remain disciplined and nonviolent and focused, and let nobody break your spirit. The media would rather focus on a brick than focus on the bank. What happened in Oakland did not reflect the Occupy movement, but some group infiltrated with their own agenda. The real occupiers stood between them and the bricks. There was no looting. They were fighting to put the focus on the need for jobs and justice. When Dr. King's last march in Memphis, he was marching for garbage workers and collective bargaining, or dues checkoff for garbage workers. At the end of the line were some agent provocateurs who threw bricks and some windows. The media was more focused on those who threw bricks in the window than they were focused on those who were garbage collectors who could not get a decent wage to dues checkoff. So remain nonviolent, remain focused, remain disciplined. But of all things, remain, and let nothing break your spirit. When you occupy, you begin to get America to focus again on poverty. You're focusing on poverty. You're focusing on poverty. America's too wealthy to have so many poor people. 52 million Americans are food insecure, while our agricultural system is overproductive. 48 million Americans are in poverty. 44 million Americans are on food stamps. $1 trillion in student loan debt, written in credit card, that we should fight to forgive student loans. Student loan debt forgiveness will unlock a whole generation of young people to invest and make our economy stronger again. So I was saying, closing, we must stand together to fight for student loan debt forgiveness, fight to put the Glass-Steagall Act revived so banks can, in fact, lend and not do foolish investing. Use our strength to stop expensive and unnecessary wars abroad, and reinvest in our infrastructure. We need jobs now. We need health care now. We need mass education now. We need places to live now. We need care for our veterans now. We love soldiers when they go to war. We don't love veterans so much when they come back home. Of the veterans, 1/3 of the veterans are unemployed. Half the homeless men are veterans. We must provide for every veteran when they return a guaranteed place to stay, lifetime medical care, a job, and job training. We must love veterans when they come home, like soldiers when they go abroad to fight. So when you stand tonight, you cannot be ignored. I was in South Africa just last week, and in South Africa they are marching. They're occupying. They marched on the mining companies. They marched on the Board of Trade. They marched on banks in South Africa. So they're occupying. In Britain, they're marching to keep student loan rates down and reduce tuition. They're marching. We were in New York, Chicago, Toledo, Detroit, Washington. We shall occupy until something happens. When you stand up and fight back, remain disciplined. Say discipline. Discipline. Non-violent. Non-violent. Focus. Focus. When I fight, economic justice. Economic justice. For shared. Economic security. Economic security. All people. All people. Now. We will build. Multiracial. Multicultural. Coalition. We'll fight. For students. And veterans. And the homeless. And the jobless. Everybody matters. Everybody. Somebody. Will survive. The winter. No winter. Will be too cold. No summer. Will be too hot. We'll fight together. One day longer. Until our country. Reinvest. In America. In the war. Reinvest. In America. Save our families. Save our children. Stop the violence. Save the children. Stop the violence. Stop the violence. Children. Save the children. Keep hope. Alive. Don't give up. Keep hope. Alive. Never surrender. Keep hope. Alive. I am. Somebody. I am. Somebody. Respect me. Protect me. Never neglect me. I am. Somebody. Red and yellow. Brown, black, and white. All precious. In God's sight. End economic violence. Now. End bank violence. Now. End insurance company. Violence. Now. We're the people. Stand. This land is our land. This land was made for you and me. Keep hope alive. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Thank you. Shall we pray together? Let's join hands and pray together. Let's join hands and pray. Let's join hands and pray together. Let's join hands and pray together. Join hands in prayer. Join hands. Join hands and pray.
Who's going to say the prayer? Everybody join. Touch. Come on.
Keep us. Protect us. Difficult sometimes. Do not give up. Do not give out. Be the wind. Beneath our wings. Stay in our faith. Lift our hope. Allow us to dream. We represent those who are afraid. Represent themselves. We stand together. Trust you. Don't doubt you. Love one another. You'll see us through. Victory is assured. Amen.